Hello students, let us continue the session on statistics. In the previous session, we have learned the methods to find mean, median and mode of a group of data. Along with that, we have also learned the graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution, and we named it as less than or more than type OGU. And we have also observed that the point of intersection of the less than OGU and the more than OGU will give median. In today's session, we shall start with exercise 14.1. The first question here is, a survey was conducted by a group of students as a part of their environmental awareness program, in which they collected the following data regarding the number of plants in 20 houses in a locality. Find the mean number of plants per house. The number of plants and the number of houses are mentioned in this table. The question here is to find the mean, and also we need to say why did we follow that particular method. Here, in order to find the mean, we would like to follow a direct method. I'll mention that we follow direct method. Why this method is suitable, that we need to mention. Here you need to observe here the number of plants, that is nothing but the class intervals, they are very small, and also observe the frequencies, it's a smaller value. Here both numerical value of Fi, that's frequency, as well as midpoints are small. So the calculation becomes much easier. So let me mention the number of plants. That's nothing but the class interval. Number of houses, that's nothing but the frequency. Then we shall find the midpoints represented by xi. Then we will find out xi fi. The class intervals given are 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 14. And the frequencies given are 1, 2, 1, 5, 6, 2, and 3. In finding, we require sigma fi value. So we need to add these frequencies and we get sigma fi. The sum here is 20. Let us find out the midpoints or the mid values. They are the upper limit plus the lower limit upon 2. That's the mean of this lower limit and the upper limit. So xi for the first class interval is 1. For the next class interval is 2 plus 4, 6 by 2, which is 3. Next is 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. Let's find out fi xi, the product of the frequency and the mid values. It's 1, 6, 5, 35, 24, 22, and 39. Now we require this sigma fi xi. So we got to add these values. 1 added to 6, added to 5, added to 35, added to 54, added to 22, added to 39. We get the sum as 162. So we find the mean. Let me mention that by x bar, this is equal to sigma fi xi, sum of these product of frequency and mean, mid value, divided by sum of all the frequencies, sigma fi. Let's substitute the value 162 divided by 20, we get it as 8.1. So the mean number of plants are 8.1. Question 2. Consider the following frequency distribution of 50 workers of a factory and the daily wages. The daily wages are given in terms of class interval and the number of workers are given, that's the frequency. Find the mean daily wages of the workers of the factory by using an appropriate method. Here, if you observe, the class intervals size is a smaller size, 20 is a small size, but the values are little huge, so it's not preferable to solve it in a direct method. So let me find using step deviation method. So let me mention that we follow step deviation method. If you can remember the formula, the mean x bar is given by assumed mean plus h times of sigma fi ui divided by sigma fi. So here, what is ui? Here ui is the values obtained by subtracting all the observation by subtracting assumed mean with all the observations divided by a constant number. So let us write the daily wages which are given in terms of a class interval. So daily wages, I'll write this as a class interval Next, the number of frequencies, that's the number of workers here, that is frequency. I'll represent this by Fi. Then we require mid value or the midpoint. Let me mention this as Xi. Now we require Ui. Ui is given by Xi minus the assumed mean upon H. Let us identify the assumed mean. For that, we require mid values. First, let me mention the given class intervals: 100 to 120, 120 to 140, 140 to 160, 160 to 180, 180 to 200. And the frequencies given are 12, 14, 8, 6, and 10. The mid values are obtained by using upper limit plus the lower limit upon 2. So 100 added to 120 is 220 divided by 2 gives us 110. The next will be 130, 150, 170, 190. Here the mid values are obtained. Let me take somewhere here in the middle 150 as the assumed mean. So I have taken assumed mean to be 150. If you take 150 and let me take the value of h to be say 20. Now substitute observation minus 150. Observation is each one of these xi's divided by 20. We get minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. Now the product of fi ui I need to find. So each one of these frequencies and ui's are multiplied. Frequencies and ui are to be multiplied. We'll be getting negative 24. Minus 1 multiplied to 14 is negative 14. 0 multiplied to 8 is 0. 1 multiplied to 6 is 6. And 2 multiplied to 10 is 20. We need to add sigma fi ui. We get it as negative 12. So the mean is given by assumed mean. Assumed mean is 150 plus h value is 20, that is to be multiplied with sigma fi ui is negative 12 divided by sigma fi. Here the sigma fi value is 50. So the 0 get cancels. We get 150 minus 4.8 because it becomes 4 times 12 divided by 10. 4 times 12 is 48 divided by 10 will be 4.8. On subtracting we get it as 145.2. So the daily wages are, therefore the mean daily wage is rupees 145.20. Question number 3. The following distribution shows the daily pocket allowance of children in a locality. The mean pocket allowance is rupees 18. Find the missing frequency f. So the class intervals are given here. Let me write class interval. And the number of students, number of children. It's frequency fi. We shall find out the midpoint. That's xi. Then we shall find fi xi. The class intervals are 11 to 13, 13 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 19, 19 to 21, 21 to 23, 23 to 25. And the number of children, 7, 6, 9, 13, F, 5 and 4. Now we shall find the midpoint. Midpoint is given by the upper limit plus the lower limit upon 2, and we get 11 added to 13 is 24, by 2 is 12. Next is 14, 16, next is 18, next is 20, next to that is 22, and the next one is 24. When we add up all the frequencies, we get sigma Fi as 44 plus F. Now we shall find Fi Xi. Here 7 multiplied to 12 is 84. 6 multiplied to 14 is 84. 9 times 16 is 144. 18 multiplied to 13 is 234. 20 into F is 20F. 22 into 5 is 110. 4 times 24 is 96. And the sum of Fi Xi is 752 plus 20F. In the question they had mentioned the mean allowance, and the mean allowance was rupees 18. So we'll make use of formula x bar equal to sigma Fi Ui, sorry Xi, not Ui, divided by sigma Fi. Here 752 plus 20F divided by 44 plus F is 18. So 18 is to be cross multiplied with 44 plus F. So 18 times of 44 plus F will be equal to 752 plus 20F. So 18 times of 44 is 792 plus 18F will be equal to 752 plus 20F. Let us bring 18F to the right side and 752 to the left. We get 40 equal to 2F. So the value of frequency, missing frequency, is 20. Next question is 30 women were examined. 30 women were examined in a hospital by a doctor, and the number of heartbeats per minute were recorded and summarized as follows. Find the mean heartbeats per minute for these women choosing a suitable method. Here the class intervals are little large, so best thing is to follow step deviation method. Here I'll mention the class intervals from the given data. The class intervals are 65 to 68, 68 to 71, 71 to 74, 74 to 77, 77 to 80, 80 to 83, 83 to 86, and the respective number of women. I'll write this as Fi, the frequencies 2, 4, 3, 8, 7, 4 and 2, and we get the sum of all these frequencies to be 30. And in question also they have mentioned 30 women are examined. For finding the step deviation method, we would like to find the midpoints. The midpoints, I'll just mention it as xi. So the mid of 65 to 68 is 66 and a half. Next is 69 and a half, 72 and a half, 75 and a half, 78 and a half, 81 and a half, 84 and a half. These are the mid values. Now I would like to find the value of xui, which is xi minus assumed mean divided by h. Here we'll consider the assumed mean to be the value somewhere in the middle of these xi's. I'll take this as 75.5, and the value of h, I'll take it as 3, because the difference of the upper limit minus the lower limit is 3. So minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, positive 1, positive 2, sorry, it's positive 3, not 2. It's positive 3 and positive 3. Now I'll find out fi ui minus 6, minus 8, minus 3, 0, 7, 8 and 6. Sigma fi ui, we get it as 4. Therefore, the mean is obtained using formula x bar equal to assumed mean plus the class size times of sigma fi ui divided by sigma fi. So x bar will be equal to 75.5, which is assumed mean, plus the class size is 3 times of sigma fi ui is 4 upon 30. 10 times is 30, so 0.4 to be added to 75.5, we get it as 75.9. Therefore, the mean heart rate per minute is 75.9. Question 5. In a retail market, fruit vendors were selling mangoes kept in packing boxes. These boxes contained varying number of mangoes. The following was distribution of the mangoes according to the number of boxes. The number of mangoes and the number of boxes are given as class interval and the frequency respectively. We need to find the mean number of mangoes kept in the packing box. Which method of finding the mean did you choose? Here, the given data is not a continuous, so we need to make it as a continuous. Here the given data is inclusive type, we need to make it as exclusive type. So we have learned a method of doing that in our class 9th. We need to add 0.5 to all the upper limits and subtract 0.5 from the lower limits. Let us mention that we'll make that class interval as exclusive by adding 0.5 to all the upper limits and subtract 0.5 from lower limits. So the new class interval obtained will be 49.5 to 52.5, 52.5 to 55.5, 55.5 to 58.5, 58.5 to 61.5, 61.5 to 64.5. And the number of boxes are the frequencies. They are 15, 110, 135, 115, 25, and the sum of these frequencies we get it as 400. Here we need to find the midpoint. So the midpoint is given by xi. Here the midpoint is 51, 54, 57, 60, 63. Now we need to follow deviation method. Let me choose this particular thing as assumed mean. Let me take the assumed mean to be 57. So we'll find out all the deviations which are xi minus the assumed mean. So 51 minus 57 is -6, -3, 0, +3, and +6. Let me find out fi di. We get it as 90, just -330, 0, 345, and 150. Let's find out fi di. Added up sigma fi di, we get it as 75. Now let's make use of the formula. X bar is equal to assumed mean plus the class size multiplied to sigma fi di divided by sigma fi, and the assumed mean was 57 plus the class size is h3, 75 is sigma fi di, and 400 is sigma fi. On simplification, we get it as 57.19. Therefore, the mean number of mangoes kept in a packing box is 57.19. Question number 6. The table below shows the daily expenditure on food of 25 households in a locality. Find the mean daily expenditure of food using a suitable method. Observe here there are the class intervals which are slightly huge, so it's better to follow step deviation method. For that, I'll take a table. Let me mention the class interval. The class intervals are 100 to 150, 150 to 200, 200 to 250, 250 to 300, 300 to 350. And the frequencies, that's the number of households. I'll mention this as Fi. Yeah, 4, 5, 12, 2, and 2. So the sigma Fi, sum of frequencies, we get as 25. Let's find out the midpoint. So the midpoint mentioned as if xi values are 125, 175, 225, 275, and 325. Let's find out deviation first, then let's find ui values. Deviation is obtained by xi minus the assumed mean. Let me assume that 225 is the mean. So I've taken a value to be 225. Each time we subtract, we get minus 100, minus 50, 0, positive 50, and positive 100. Let's find ui. Ui is xi minus a upon the class size h. Here the class size is 50. So we get negative 2, negative 1, 0, positive 1, and positive 2. Now we shall find Fi ui. So what I'm multiplying, I'll just generate Fi values and ui values. I'm going to multiply. We get negative 8, negative 5, positive 2, and 4. And the value of sigma Fi ui, the sum becomes negative 7. Now let us use the formula. The formula x bar equal to assume mean plus h times of sigma Fi ui divided by sigma Fi. So this is equal to 225 plus 50 times of negative 7 divided by 25. We get 225. It becomes negative 14. So 211. Therefore, mean expenditure on food per day is rupees 211. Question number 7. To find out the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air in parts per million ppm, the data was collected for 30 localities in a certain city and it's presented below. The concentrations are given as class interval and the number of localities are mentioned as frequency. Here we need to find the mean of the concentration of sulfur dioxide in the air. Let's take a tabular column. Let me mention the concentration of sulfur dioxide in ppm, percentage per meter, as class interval 0.00 to 0.04, 0.04 to 0.08, 0.08 to 0.12, 0.12 to 0.16, 0.16 to 0.20, 0.20 to 0.4. Let me mention the frequencies as Fi. They are 4, 9, 9, 2, 4 and 2, and we get the sum of all these frequencies as 30. Let's find out the mid value or the midpoint. So the midpoint Xi is 0.02, 0.06, 0.10, 0.14, 0.18 and 0.22. And Fi Xi, the values are 0.08, 0.54, 0.90, 0.28, 0.72, 0.44. Let us add them up to get Fi Xi value, sigma Fi Xi value. This will be equal to 0.08 plus 0.54 plus 0.90 plus 0.28 plus 0.72 plus 0.44 will be 2.96. So let us find using the formula mean is equal to sigma Fi Ui, Xi divided by sigma Fi. So X bar will be equal to 2.96 upon 30. We get it as 0.099 ppm. Question number 8. A class teacher has the following absentee record of 40 students of class for the whole term. Find the mean number of days as a student was absent. Number of days and the number of students are given as class interval and frequencies respectively. Let me make a tabular column. First, I'll mention the class interval, then the frequency, then the mid value, and product of frequency with the mid value. Class interval is 0 to 6, 6 to 10, 10 to 14, 14 to 20, 20 to 28, 28 to 38, and 38 to 40. The frequencies are 11, 10, 7, 4, 4, 3 and 1. Here I'll find out the mid value. The mid values are 3, 8, 12, 17, 24, 33 and 39. Here we are not following deviation and step deviation method because the class size is not the same. So we'll follow direct method Fi Xi. We'll find it out. It is 33, 80, 84, 68, 96, 99 and 39, and the sum sigma Fi Xi will be 499. So the mean is obtained by sigma fi xi divided by sigma fi. We get 499 divided by what is the sum of the frequencies? Sigma fi value is 40. So divide this by 40, we get it as 12.48, and approximately this is equal to 12 days. Therefore, the mean number of days a student was absent is 12.48. 12 days approximately. Question number 9. The following table gives the literacy rate in percentage of 35 cities. Find the mean literacy rate. Let me represent using a tabular column. I'll first mention the class interval, then the frequency, then mid value, followed by deviation, then UI, that is all deviation divided by the class size, then fi UI. Here I am following this method basically because the class interval is continuous. It has got equal class sizes for all the class intervals: 45 to 55, 55 to 65, 65 to 75, 75 to 85, and 85 to 95. The frequencies are 3, 10, 11, 8, and 3. Let's find sigma fi is 35. Mid values are 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Let's find the deviation by taking assumed mean. Let me consider 70 to be assumed mean. I'll get -20, -10, 0, +10, +20. Let me divide this by the class size. It's -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. fi ui is -6, -10, 0, +8, and +6. Let's find fi ui value sum. That sum will be -2. So the mean is given by assumed mean plus the class size times of sigma fi ui divided by sigma fi. Let's multiply. Class size is 10. Assumed mean was 70 plus 10 times of -2 upon 35, and we get the result as 69.42. Therefore, the mean literacy is 69.42. With this, I'll conclude today's session. In the next session, we shall take up the next exercise. Thank you. Hello students, let us continue the session.